On March 10, 2026, Prince William reportedly dropped a bombshell about Duchess Sophie's secret inheritance. Sources claim this fortune has been hidden for decades, untouched by the public eye. But the revelation didn't just shock the palace, it reportedly enraged Camilla, sparking whispers of family tension behind closed doors. How could a single inheritance shake royal loyalties, influence power, and change centuries-old relationships overnight? What secrets are still locked behind palace walls? The story starts with a question that shocked many royal watchers. How could a fortune linked to a senior royal stay hidden for so long? On March 10, 2026, reports began spreading that Prince William had revealed something surprising about Duchess Sophie, the wife of Prince Edward. According to several sources, Sophie may have a private inheritance connected to long-standing royal financial structures. Some reports even linked the story to records tied to the Duchy of Cornwall. That duchy is a historic estate that provides income to the heir to the British throne. Think about this for a moment. The Duchy of Cornwall has existed since 1337, when King Edward III created it. It includes land, farms, and property worth hundreds of millions of pounds today. Most of its details are kept private, and only a few officials ever see the financial papers. So why did Sophie's name suddenly appear in conversations about inheritance? Some insiders claimed the assets could include family gifts, private trusts, or personal property passed down through relatives. A trust is a legal system that holds money or property for someone's benefit. Royal families often use trusts to protect wealth and avoid public attention. But the bigger shock came from the reaction inside palace circles. Reports quickly said Camilla, the queen consort, was furious after hearing about the alleged inheritance. No official statement confirmed this anger. Still, royal commentators said the tension was noticeable. Here's the part most people miss. In royal families, money is not just money. It represents influence, history, and status. When one person gains unexpected wealth or property, it can quietly shift power inside the family. So a simple question now hangs over the palace. How did a fortune like this stay hidden for decades? And the answer may shock even those who know the palace best. That hidden fortune raised a bigger mystery. If the inheritance was private for so long, why did it suddenly become public? Reports on March 10, 2026 said Prince William, the Prince of Wales, was the one who revealed the information. Some royal commentators claimed the news surfaced during discussions about family finances and long-term estate planning. These discussions often involve lawyers and royal financial offices that manage wealth tied to institutions like the Duchy of Cornwall. Now watch what happens next. The Duchy of Cornwall is not a small estate. It controls land, farms, rivers, and buildings across England. In recent years, reports said the duchy generates tens of millions of pounds each year in income. The estate is traditionally controlled by the heir to the throne, which means Prince William became responsible for it after King Charles III became king in 2022. So when William reportedly mentioned Sophie's inheritance, it caught attention immediately. Think about this. Royal finances are usually handled quietly. Many details stay inside legal offices, private meetings, and trust agreements. A trust is a legal arrangement where money or property is held and managed for someone's benefit. These systems can last for decades, sometimes even generations. That is why some analysts believe William's move may have been strategic. Some claimed it could have been meant to clarify financial structures within the royal family. Others suggested it may have been an effort to prevent rumors before they spread further. But not everyone inside royal circles reportedly welcomed the moment. Several commentators claimed that Camilla was deeply upset by the revelation. If true, that reaction may reflect deeper concerns about influence, fairness, and family standing. Here's the question many people began asking. Was William's reveal carefully planned, or was it simply an accidental disclosure during private discussions? Whatever the real reason, one thing became clear very quickly. The palace was suddenly buzzing with tension. Chapter 3: Camilla's Fury. The tension inside royal circles quickly grew stronger. Reports of the inheritance were spreading, and attention slowly turned toward one person, Camilla, the queen consort. Several royal commentators claimed that Camilla was deeply upset when she heard about the reported inheritance connected to Duchess Sophie. No official palace statement confirmed this anger. Still, insiders told media outlets that discussions inside royal offices became more serious after March 10, 2026, when the story first appeared. Here's the part most people miss. Inside royal families, wealth is closely tied to influence. It is not only about money. It is about who controls land, private estates, and historic assets. For centuries, these things helped shape power inside the monarchy. Think about this. In 2022, when King Charles III became king, many royal financial roles shifted. The Duchy of Cornwall, created in 1337, moved under Prince William's control as the new Prince of Wales. That estate is worth more than £1 billion today and provides major income for the heir. So when a new inheritance story appears, people inside the palace pay attention. Some reports claimed Camilla began holding quiet meetings with senior advisors. These meetings were allegedly focused on understanding the details of the inheritance and its possible impact. Advisors often review legal papers, family agreements, and trust structures when issues like this appear. A trust, remember, is a legal system that protects money or property for someone's future use. Royal families have used them for generations. But the situation may not be only about money. Some royal analysts believe Camilla's reaction could also be about status and long-term influence. If new wealth strengthens another branch of the family, it can slowly shift the balance of power behind palace doors. Now watch what happens next. Because if the reported inheritance is real, there may be documents explaining exactly how it works. And those papers could reveal far more than anyone expected. Her next move might change everything in the palace. Questions about the inheritance kept growing. If the story was true, there had to be paperwork somewhere. Now watch what happens next. Royal finances are not handled like normal family money. Much of it is recorded inside legal archives connected to historic estates such as the Duchy of Cornwall. These archives include contracts, property records, and trust agreements that sometimes go back many decades. Some experts believe the reported inheritance linked to Duchess Sophie may be connected to documents stored in these systems. Think about this. The Duchy of Cornwall was created in 1337 by King Edward III. Today it controls land across England and has an estimated value of more than £1 billion. The estate provides income to the heir to the British throne, which means Prince William became responsible for it when King Charles III took the throne in 2022. But here's the part most people miss. Royal families often protect wealth through trusts and private legal structures. A trust is a legal arrangement where assets are held and managed by trustees for a person's benefit. These systems are designed to keep ownership stable across generations. They can also make the full details difficult for the public to see. Some legal commentators have claimed that if Sophie's inheritance exists, it could involve property rights, long-term financial trusts, or family gifts passed down quietly over many years. Others say certain clauses inside these agreements may explain why the fortune stayed private for so long. However, the exact documents have not been released publicly. Because of that, many parts of the story remain reported or alleged, not confirmed. Still, the existence of paperwork raises an important question. If these documents truly exist, what exactly do they say about Sophie's control over the assets? And one clause inside those papers could completely change how royal inheritance rules are understood. And one clause could turn family rules upside down. Those secret documents raised a bigger issue. If the inheritance is real, it does not only affect money. It affects influence inside the royal family. Now watch what happens next. After the report surfaced on March 10, 2026, royal commentators began discussing what the situation might mean for the balance of power around King Charles III. The British royal family has always worked within a clear hierarchy. At the top is the monarch, followed by the Prince of Wales, who is currently Prince William. But wealth can quietly shift that balance. Think about this. The Duchy of Cornwall, now managed by William, produces an annual income that has been reported in recent years to exceed £20 million. That money helps fund the work of the Prince of Wales and his family. However, other members of the royal family often rely on personal wealth, inheritances, or private trusts to support their activities. This is where the reported inheritance linked to Duchess Sophie becomes interesting. Some palace watchers claimed that if Sophie gained access to a large trust or estate, it could increase her independence and influence within royal circles. Her husband, Prince Edward, became the Duke of Edinburgh in 2023, a title once held by Prince Philip. That position already gives the couple an important place inside the royal structure. Here's the part most people miss. Royal politics rarely happen in public. They unfold in quiet meetings between advisors, lawyers, and senior staff. Institutions like Buckingham Palace and Clarence House often coordinate communication carefully to protect the monarchy's image. Because of this, insiders reported that staff members were quietly analyzing the situation after the inheritance story appeared. Advisors may have been studying legal details, potential reactions, and how the story could affect relationships inside the family. But there is still one mystery no one has fully answered. If tensions truly exist between Prince William, Camilla, and other senior royals, who inside the palace will choose sides? And the answer to that question could redraw the map of influence inside the monarchy. The answer may redefine the royal power map entirely. The tension inside the palace was only one side of the story. Outside the palace gates, the reaction was exploding. Now watch what happens next. Within hours of the reports on March 11 to 12, 2026, media outlets and social platforms began discussing the alleged inheritance connected to Duchess Sophie. Royal stories travel fast, and this one had everything: wealth, secrecy, and possible family tension involving Prince William and Queen Consort Camilla. Think about this. The British royal family has been under intense public attention for decades. In the age of social media, even a small rumor can spread across the world in minutes. Analysts said the story quickly became one of the most talked-about royal discussions online during that week. Some polls reported by commentators suggested thousands of people were sharing opinions about the situation. While exact numbers vary, many observers said the public seemed fascinated by the idea of a hidden inheritance inside one of the world's most famous families. Here's the part most people miss. Public opinion can quietly influence how the monarchy responds to controversy. Institutions like Buckingham Palace and the Royal Communications Offices carefully watch media coverage. Their job is to protect the reputation of the crown while keeping personal matters private. Because of this, many experts began asking a new question. Would the palace release a statement, or would they stay silent and allow the discussion to fade away? Some analysts claimed the royal household might choose silence. Historically, the monarchy often avoids responding to rumors unless the issue becomes too large to ignore. But silence can also create more speculation. And as the conversation continued across television, newspapers, and social media, pressure slowly began to grow. So the question became impossible to ignore. Will the palace respond to the global attention surrounding Sophie's reported inheritance? Because if even one official statement appears, it could change the entire story overnight. And one statement could ignite even more controversy. That possible palace statement never fully arrived. And that silence leaves one final question hanging over the entire story. What does this moment mean for the future of royal wealth? The reports about Duchess Sophie's alleged inheritance may or may not be confirmed publicly. But the conversation it started is very real. Royal finances have always been complicated. They involve estates, trusts, and centuries-old agreements that most people never see. Think about this. Some royal estates, like the Duchy of Cornwall, have existed since 1337. Others, such as the Duchy of Lancaster, provide income to the monarch. These institutions hold land, farms, and property across the United Kingdom. Together they are worth billions of pounds. Because of this, inheritance inside the royal family is rarely simple. Experts in constitutional law, the rules that guide how a country is governed, often say the monarchy must balance two things at the same time: privacy and public trust. Privacy protects the family. Public trust protects the institution. Here's the part many people overlook. Stories about wealth can quietly change how the public views the royal family. If people believe money and influence are handled unfairly, pressure can grow for more transparency. Transparency simply means making information open and clear. Some analysts have claimed the recent reports could encourage the palace to review how inheritance arrangements are explained to the public in the future. Others believe the royal household will continue using private trusts and legal protections, just as it has for generations. But one thing is certain. The alleged inheritance story involving Prince William, Duchess Sophie, and Camilla has reminded the world that royal wealth is still surrounded by mystery. And that mystery may shape how the monarchy handles money, power, and reputation in the years ahead. And the next move could shock everyone again. The story that began with a sudden report on March 10, 2026 has now come full circle. What started as claims about a hidden inheritance linked to Duchess Sophie quickly turned into a much bigger discussion about wealth, influence, and power inside the British royal family. We saw how the situation reportedly began when Prince William, now the Prince of Wales, revealed details that many people outside palace circles had never heard before. The reported inheritance raised questions about trusts, estates, and the complicated financial structures surrounding institutions like the Duchy of Cornwall, a royal estate created in 1337. Then came the alleged reaction. Reports suggested that Camilla, the Queen consort, was furious when the news surfaced. While no official statement confirmed this, the idea of tension inside palace walls quickly captured public attention. Think about this. Royal wealth has always been surrounded by secrecy. Trusts, private gifts, and historic estates often pass quietly from one generation to the next. These systems are designed to protect stability, but they can also create mystery. And that mystery is exactly why this story spread so fast. Some details remain reported, claimed, or alleged, not confirmed. Yet the bigger issue is clear. Whenever money, status, and royal tradition meet, questions follow. So the real question now is not only about Sophie's inheritance. It is about how the royal family will handle wealth, transparency, and public trust in the years ahead. Do you think royal inheritances should be completely public? Was Prince William right to reportedly reveal the information? Could stories like this change how people view the monarchy? Subscribe for more deep stories and hidden royal secrets as they unfold.